After my divorce, I felt so alone. My students kept me busy during the day, but nights were empty. Then I met her online. She said I was kind and different from other men. I believed every word. She told me she ran a charity helping orphan children overseas. Her photos showed her hugging kids and building schools. She seemed so good, so caring. I felt lucky she noticed someone ordinary like me. We talked for hours every night. She understood my pain from the divorce, my loneliness, my fear of being alone forever. She said we were soulmates, connected across oceans by fate. I started falling hard. My son noticed I seemed happier. He asked if I was seeing someone. I said maybe, but I wasn't ready to introduce her yet. I didn't tell him we'd never met in person. I knew he'd worry. The first request for money came after 3 months. Her charity needed funds for emergency surgery for a sick child. I sent $500 without hesitation. Helping children felt right. I didn't question anything. She sent photos of the child after surgery, thanking me for saving a life. I felt like a hero, like I finally mattered to someone. The money kept flowing after that. Travel expenses, supplies, rent for the orphanage. Soon I was sending money every week. 1,000 here, 2,000 there. She always had an emergency, always needed help right away. I drained my savings account without even realizing how fast it was disappearing. My son asked about my retirement fund when I mentioned I couldn't help with his tuition. I lied and said I'd made some bad investments. The words tasted bitter, but the truth was even worse to admit. She promised we'd meet soon. Just one more payment for her visa, one more for travel expenses. Every deadline passed with a new emergency. I kept believing because admitting she might be lying meant admitting I was a fool. I sold my father's watch, the only thing he left me when he died. She needed money for hospital bills. I told myself he'd understand. That love meant sacrifice. The watch brought $2,000. Both are gone now. My son confronted me when he saw my bank statements. Dad, you've sent over $100,000 to someone you've never met. His voice cracked with worry and disappointment. I had no good answer. I finally admitted I'd never met her in person. My son's face fell. Dad, you're being scammed, he said softly. The word stung like nothing I'd ever felt. Scam victim. That's what I'd become. I confronted her that night. She denied everything, then blamed me for not trusting her. When I refused to send more money, she disappeared. Blocked me everywhere. The woman I loved never existed. I sat in my car for hours, unable to move. $187,000 gone. My retirement, my inheritance, my savings. All sent to someone who probably never even used her real name. My son helped me file a police report. The officer was kind but honest. The money was probably gone forever. These scams often come from overseas. I'd never see that money or that woman again. The shame was worse than losing the money. I was a smart man, a teacher, someone who helped others avoid mistakes. How did I fall for something so obvious? I couldn't look at myself in the mirror. I started attending a support group for scam victims. The first night, I sat in the back, hoping no one would notice me. Then a woman named Linda introduced herself. She'd been where I was 20 years ago. Linda told her story. She'd lost everything to a romance scam too. Her husband left her, her kids stopped speaking to her. But she rebuilt. The shame isn't yours to carry, she said. You wanted love. That's not a crime. Linda helped me create a financial recovery plan. I'd need to work past retirement age. Maybe teach summer school, tutor students, do whatever it took. The plan was painful, but gave me something I'd lost: hope. I told my students I was teaching extra classes to save for a new car. The lie felt small compared to everything else I'd hidden. But slowly, I started being honest with people who mattered. My son started coming over for dinner every Sunday. He didn't mention the money or the scam. He just sat with me, watched football, and reminded me I wasn't alone. That meant more than any bank account. I started seeing a therapist who specialized in scam trauma. She explained that scammers are professionals who study human loneliness. They know exactly what to say. It wasn't my fault for being lonely. I joined an online scam awareness group. Every day, new victims shared stories so similar to mine it was scary. We weren't stupid. We were human, desperate for connection in an increasingly lonely world. Linda suggested I start speaking at community centers about romance scams. Your shame could save someone else, she said. The first talk was terrifying. But afterward, 3 people thanked me for helping them see the signs. 2 years after the scam, I'd paid back the money I borrowed from my son. Handing him that check was harder than any payment I'd ever made. He hugged me and said, "I'm proud of you, Dad." I started dating again, but differently now. I met someone in real life, at a book club. We take things slowly, meet in person, no money requests ever. Real love doesn't come with a price tag. My retirement account is slowly growing again. Not what it should be at my age, but something. Every deposit feels like reclaiming a small piece of my future from someone who stole so much. I now mentor new scam victims at the support group. When I see that same shame in their eyes that I once carried, I tell them what Linda told me. You wanted love. That's not a crime. The crime is what they did to you. I wrote a letter to the woman who scammed me, not to send, just to process. I forgave her in that letter, not because she deserved it, but because I deserved to stop carrying that anger. The man who sent money to someone who never loved him learned that the most important person to forgive was himself. I wasted years hating myself for being fooled. I'm done with that now. My relationship with my son is stronger than ever. He introduced me to his fiancée last month. I'll get to be at his wedding, be a grandfather someday. Those are the things money could never buy. I still teach summer school and tutor on weekends. Working extra isn't shameful anymore. It's what I do to rebuild. I've made peace with retiring later than I planned. Peace is worth more than early retirement. I've become the person at school that other teachers come to when they suspect a romance scam. 3 colleagues have avoided losing money because of what I learned the hard way. That feels like redemption. Linda and I co-facilitate the support group now. We've seen hundreds of people walk through those doors, ashamed and broken. Watching them heal, watching them forgive themselves, is the best work I've ever done. The money is still gone. I'll never get it back. But I've stopped calculating what my retirement would have been. I focus on what I have now, my son's love, my health, and a purpose bigger than my bank account. Sometimes I still feel embarrassed when I remember how much I sent. But I remind myself that I'm not that lonely man anymore. I've rebuilt my life, my relationships, and most importantly, my trust in myself. The teacher who got scammed learned that vulnerability isn't weakness. Wanting love, wanting connection, wanting to matter, those are human needs. Scammers exploit them, but needing love doesn't make you foolish. Now when I hear about romance scams in the news, I don't feel triggered anymore. I feel compassion for the victim and anger at the scammer. And I know, somewhere out there, someone who heard my story didn't send that money today.